crafters, thanks for joining me here at the Crafty Corner. Today we are going to be making this little movable squirrel. His head moves and his tail moves. So you'll need to come in and pick up a packet because you have the squirrel template that will be in your packet. You have the nut template, you've got some wiggly eyes, you've got a little fuzzy nose, and you have some paper fasteners. So the first thing you're going to want to do when you get your packet is to cut out the squirrel. Now you can see I've already cut it out of all this mess over here. So you're going to have a head, you're going to have some paws, his body, and his tail. Okay, and you are going to need to have a paper fastener. A hole puncher. So you're going to want to find out what side you want his tail on, and it doesn't really matter which way you do it. And I'm just going to put a hole over here by his paws, and I'm going to put a hole in here by his tail. So we're going to put the paper fastener on those two things and turn it over and pull it down. And now we have our squirrel's tail that moves. For the head, you are also going to need your little hole puncher. Okay, go ahead and get it about a half of an inch up and about a half of an inch down or so. And match those holes up and put the paper fastener in so that his head will move. All right, so now we have all of the movable parts for our little squirrel. We just have to finish putting him all together. So you're going to have these paws here, but the paws need to hold the little acorn. Now I've made a green acorn and a beige acorn top. They are really too large for the size of the squirrel. So when you cut this out, you're going to want to cut it so that all the black outline on your template is gone. And that will give you about the size you need. So your little acorn is going to fold up and have a little message on the inside. Okay, and so this one says Happy Autumn. Once I have folded it down, I'm going to want to go ahead and cut out the acorn top as well. And you're not going to want most of that black to show. You're going to want to cut that part off so that the size matches. You're going to want to match this up. You can see that acorn lid is a little bit too big, but that's okay. And this is not matching up just perfectly for me, so I'm going to go ahead and trim it so that both top and bottom are the same size. Okay, and then the acorn top can be a little bit larger, or you could trim it off if you want, but that looks pretty good. We're going to glue just the back side of the little notepad here that is going to say Happy Autumn or whatever you want to say onto it. So we're going to glue this and glue it I've got it sort of at an angle. We're going to go ahead and glue our acorn top down as well. Okay, and then we can get his paws to hold the acorn top. You still want this to be able to flip open, so you're going to have to place that so that this will flip the way you want it to. All right, so let's go ahead and put some glue on each paw, and you can hold the little nut. All right. Now, if you want to, you can decorate the top of the acorn by drawing some lines and crisscrossing the other direction so that it sort of looks like a real acorn top. And then on the inside, you can write whatever you want. I'm just going to spell out Happy Autumn once again and use an exclamation point to finish that off. All right, now we have his face. You have some eyes, and each packet is going to have a little bit different color little puff ball here for his nose. Now, this circle is not really the circle that you're going to need. Just cut a smaller oval from inside here and just totally ignoring that black, and that's going to be where you're going to put his little part of his face there, and that's still a little bit too big. You're just basically wanting to cover up the brad that moves his head. Now I would suggest that we use the white glue here because the glue stick will probably not hold it in place since it's poofing up because of that brad in there. Okay, so we're going to glue that down, and then we're going to glue his little nose on, and this little squirrel gets to have a little green nose. Okay, there's his little green nose, and I would use the white glue for his eyes as well. Since it's not paper on paper, it's better to use the white glue and then just leave it sit for a little while so that it dries. Now, the other thing that you're going to want to use this beige paper for is to give his ears a little bit of a bicolored look. And so I'm just going to cut a little square here, and I'm just measuring so that I can cut a couple little triangles out to have him have a little bit of a beige inside of its ear. Okay, and so there, those two will go there. And since we're just gluing paper on paper, we can use the glue stick there. Now, my original squirrel has some teeth. And if you have some little white paper at home, you could glue some little teeth on there, but it doesn't look like I have much of white paper. I suppose I could use this. So we could put a little bit of a tooth, draw a little line between his two teeth, and have him sort of chew on the little acorn there. So we're just going to put some glue here. It looks like my little puffball's not staying down really well for his nose. So you may have to really put a nice big dollop of glue there to hold that in place. And then let it set for a little bit. So once you've got that done, you're just going to want to let him, like I said, have him sit around for a little bit till everything dries before you really try to play with him. If I sit him up, I'll see if his nose stays on. So what do you think, boys and girls? We have this little cute movable squirrel for you to come down here to the Fayette County Public Library and pick up a packet, and you can make one at your home. Thanks for joining me. I'm Miss Lisa here for the Fayette County Public Library. You've been watching the Crafty Corner. Bye now.